Get ready for a conversation that goes beyond obvious. And today I have with me in conversation Dr. Vivek and Oberoi, actor, business leader and partner Nisus Finance. Vivek, welcome to this exclusive interview series.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to host this conversation with you.
Thank you, Ritika.
My first question to you is, what was your motivation behind this transition from Bollywood to business?
I think somewhere I started feeling a little frustrated. I started feeling that there was a lot that I wanted to do and I wasn't able to achieve that for many other reasons, right? It wasn't that I'm not working hard enough or I'm not committed enough or I'm not passionate enough, but there were so many other reasons. Leave that. So instead of getting bitter and negative, I decided to refocus and realign myself and say, okay, where can I create positive contribution? I was already doing a lot in social impact, non-profit. But I was finding it very difficult to scale that also. Because kitni baar can you go to somebody and say, look, we did wonderful, we saved so many children from cancer, or we gave so many underprivileged girls education, why don't you contribute more? People still give, but it's limiting, right? If you're raising $1 million, how do you get to $5 million? How do you get to $10 million? How do you scale? So I started thinking about how can we create something which is social impact for profit, where you're making profit also, but you're adding positive social impact. Now that becomes a very interesting proposition. Now people feel, acha, whatever I'm putting is in an investment, not a donation. Money will grow also. I will make money also. It's okay if I don't make crazy money, but I'll make money also. My money is safe also, but I'm also creating positive social impact. That caught the fascination of a lot of people. And then I started working on that. So I set up an ed tech company. We went into agri-tech to help farmers. That's doing really well. Then we went into sustainable jewelry to set up, Solitario, which was the lab-grown diamond jewelry company, which was sustainable, ethical jewelry. That exploded. It suddenly went to now, we're in 8 countries and 25 cities now and just keeping on growing in the last 2.5 years. So like that, I kept picking interesting things that I was passionate about, but also made business sense for an investor to write a check. That started growing exponentially. And then I managed to take some companies public. This year I'm taking 4 companies IPO. Now you're creating more wealth. Now you enjoy the fact that you do something you're passionate about, you're excited about, that's giving investors good returns, and it'll keep growing as a business.
Well, how has philanthropy shaped your personal and your professional journey?
Philanthropy gave me something that I didn't have in my life. It started when I was already quite successful, but I was finding it very difficult in my personal and professional life. I had a rough phase. I had earned more money than I could have imagined at that time, right? Started as a newcomer. My first couple of films became a big success story. I was suddenly earning in crores. Never seen that kind of, wealth. But I still felt empty. And every time there was success, I'd feel happy. Every time there was failure, I'd feel sad. I'd get depressed. And I was saying, there has to be more to life. You can't associate your entire being, your entire soul with an attempt. Yaar, main yahan hit ho gaya, to I'm very happy now. Or if this hasn't done too well, I'm very sad now. It's completely based on somebody else. My mom took me and got me involved in helping children fighting cancer. Because she's been doing that for 35 years now, helping cancer patients. And I connected with those kids. And I started feeling so happy every time I brought a smile on their face. I set up toy banks for all the underprivileged kids who were fighting cancer. They didn't have toys. So I said, how do we create toy bank where people can take toys, use it, kids can give it back, then we sanitize the toys, kids can take it again, books. How do we make something a little more lively? And when I did that, I got so much sense of satisfaction. And then I realized that human beings need purpose. And then I realized that profit is important, but purpose is the most important thing. So even today I say to all my companies, I tell them, profit is for a quarter, purpose is for life. So I drive everything that I do with a purpose. I try to set a vision with a purpose. Okay, what can we do? What can we solve for? How much can we add value in people's lives? That should be the driving mission and the purpose of the organization.
And has spirituality played any role in this journey of yours?
It has. I think spirituality allows you to do away with fear and insecurity. When you have too much fear, you take wrong decisions. I was just with my nephews and my daughter, my son. We'd taken them to Mahakumbh. And my little nephew, Shivan, he was very worried. And the 3 other kids, of course, were doing badmashi. They were teasing him, saying that, the water's going to be very deep. And he's not a good swimmer. He doesn't know how to swim well. The other 3 know how to swim. So he was so worried in all the boat ride. We were all feeding the beautiful white birds that have flown in from Siberia apparently. So we're feeding them on the lake, on the river as we were going for this. We were enjoying ourselves. He was very worried. He was very tense. When he went there, he was so scared. He was crying in anticipation saying, I'll drown. And then he realized the water's only till his hip. And he can stand in the water. And then he was aram se taking dubkis with us. That happens in life in everything. If Ritika gets a great opportunity, sometimes fear takes over, she'll mess up the opportunity out of that fear. Like Virendra Sehwag used to say, and he's been a friend, an icon, I've been a fan of his right from the beginning of his career. He would psych himself so much before the ball that, oh my God, this bowler gets me out, I'm going to get out, that he decided to start singing. So that's why he used to sing when he used to bat, because now the thoughts wouldn't come into his head. And if the thoughts don't come into your head, there's no fear. And then he would just play the ball as is, and then he's making 300 runs and breaking records for India. I think that's important. Spirituality gives you that anchor. That anchor makes you realize that A, you don't have fear, 2, you don't have insecurity. Insecurity creates the crab mentality, which is a big epidemic in India. We see people doing well, and instead of celebrating them, we want to pull them down. If there is a huge feat that is achieved, we will try and find what is negative about it. And that unfortunately comes to us through the media feed also. Like somebody would have done 100 good things, but the 2 bad things they do will be most highlighted. Or the 2 places they fail will be most highlighted. So that's the problem that comes out of insecurity. If we remove fear and insecurity and we bring spirituality into our business, you'll do really, really well. And the third aspect, which is the most important one, is greed. If you remove greed from the equation, you'll do what is fair. And if you do what is fair, you will earn people's trust. Today, the reasons my companies get oversubscribed, multiple times, 200, 300, 400 times oversubscribed. If I go for a pre-IPO and I'm looking for, $100, I'll always have $500, $600, $700, $800 coming in for even a pre-IPO round. Forget IPO. The reason that happens is because I always believe in being fair, and I sit with my founders, my investors, and I say, look, this is the fair price. I know we can charge more, but we should leave some on the table for other investors to make money. And then they are part of our journey, so they grow with us. These 3 things, I think: fear, insecurity, and greed.
As a leader, how do you see India and Dubai relationship evolving?
This is a really golden period for Indo-UAE relationships. I feel that the leadership in the UAE, which is visionary, they're incredible. They're just doing a phenomenal job. Where you're living in an quote-unquote Islamic country, as a practicing Hindu, as a Sanatani, I am completely free to express myself spiritually, culturally, religiously. I can go to the temple, my children can experience that. I can have a puja in my house, I can have a mandir in my office, and there is nobody coming and restricting me or choking me to express myself. We host at B&W Developments, we host the largest Mata Ki Chauki of the region. This year we had 7,500 people come in to attend. No hotel was big enough for the space. So they gave us the World Trade Center to organize it. And we had all our pratimas of our Devi Devtas there. And people across religions, across cultures, across geographies. We had people from almost 20, 30 countries who decided they wanted to visit and see what a Mata Ki Chauki is. So that is exceptional, to create a beacon of coexistence and harmony. I think UAE has done a phenomenal job. Politically, I feel our Prime Minister Modi ji has been a boon for international relationships with India. I don't see that we've ever had these kind of close ties with the United Arab Emirates that we have today. The friendship, the brotherhood almost, at the political level also translates at the grassroots level. For people like us who are doing business and are proudly of Indian origin, the kind of respect, the kind of love, the kind of trust that we get, the kind of collaborative relationships we're able to build is all thanks to that investment in building that relationship. They have to, it's like the governments have to build the highway, then we can drive our cars on it, right? That's been done with Indo-UAE, and I believe UAE is one of the best partners to bridge India to the global scene. They're a trustworthy partner, they're a partner that is looking collaboratively to grow with India. They're a big believer in Bharat, and I think if India wants to build a very successful route into Africa, the UAE could be a wonderful partner to build that into.
Are there any lessons you learned from Bollywood that you're implying in your business journey?
I think so. I think one thing I realized as an actor for almost 22, 23 years, having done 65, 66 movies and shows, it's a collaborative effort. You could be the world's best actor, but without a director, without a camera person, without team to put the whole shoot together, without the crew, you're standing there by yourself. How can you create cinema? Team makes everything, right? The teamwork makes the dream work. I think that's something that I carry forward into business. The second thing is that you have to have clarity of vision, and you have to have one person driving that vision. Team can execute it. Team should be in sync. If in shoot, for example, I tell you that I'm going to do a romantic scene, and then I'm supposed to act with you, but you've been told it's a tragic scene. It's going to be a mess, right? So the communication has to be same. Like a director brings us onto the same page saying, no, I think this is the tone in which we should shoot this. Then all the actors understand, oh, this is what needs to be achieved from this scene. And then you make a film with the vision of the director. The same way a managing director, chairman, a founder puts the vision and says, okay, this is how we want to achieve this. And then the whole team has to collaboratively pitch in to achieve at that same frequency.
Last question, what are some of the opportunities that excite you for future? What we can see from Vivek Oberoi next?
I think UAE real estate is a super exciting opportunity. I see tremendous growth there. My fund, Nisus, which is now managing $1 billion of dry powder, deploying that into the UAE right now very successfully, is potentially going to be best in class in terms of performance, in terms of returns to investors, purely because of not only just good, solid ethical practices and good decision making, but also great opportunity in the UAE and the Middle East. My development company, B&W Developments, has grown exponentially. Today we are almost at 50,000 crores in assets under development. And that's come because the market's been so buoyant, it's been so positive. We were lucky to get into Al Marjan in Ras Al Khaimah early. We've ridden the wave of Ras Al Khaimah, and we've got tremendous support from the administration, the royal family, everybody there, even the Al Marjan authority has supported us a lot. And that's how we're being able to create this kind of value there. And then Dubai is Dubai, the kind of center of economic focus that it's becoming. I see a lot more participation in the real estate space. Aside from that, all my tech companies in India, the companies I'm taking public, super exciting spaces, everything from AI to agri-tech to first responder services to renewable energy in my portfolio, air to water generation, stuff that can be used for carbon sequestering or calibrating the amount of carbon biomass that can be sequestered, water that can be saved, and how do you create tokenization of all of this and eventually put it out in the world markets for people to invest in stuff like this and incentivize the grassroots, incentivize farmers, incentivize people to be more eco-friendly with finance, right? If they're hungry, how can you incentivize them to think about the planet? So those kind of things are extremely exciting to me, and I'm looking forward to these IPOs this year. And I think that will solidify, not just to myself, but to my investors, to a whole bunch of people, whatever faith they have in me. I should be delivering on that again and again. So that's the focus.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us in this interview. Thank you.
My pleasure.